On February 29, 2072, a catastrophic radiation event in the Great Victoria Desert didn't just scorch the earth, it transformed humans into zombies. This day, known as the Fracture, marked the collapse of civilization. Fast forward to 2079, and survivors have sought refuge behind Defender's Ring, a towering 8-meter steel barrier surrounding what was once Melbourne, one of the world's last lines of defense against the infected. Recently, the infected breached the outer suburbs of Melbourne. Inspired by this, our cast and crew created Wasteland Wonders, a show dedicated to helping fellow survivors not just survive, but thrive in this harsh new world. Good morning and welcome back to Wasteland Wonders. To our viewers, new or old, I'm Sabrina Tan, your host and guide on this apocalyptic journey. In today's episode, we're going to look at how to garden and practice mindfulness through art apocalypse style. Share how to maintain positive mental health in these trying times, and finally, we'll show you how music enhances well-being. Now, how is everyone doing? Yeah, good. I'm pleased with that answer. It means most of you viewers out there have survived to see another episode. Why? How am I doing, you ask? Well, the short answer is no. I think a zombie finally got to my donkey, so I have to guard my own rations now. But at least I don't have to feed him. Yes. I see all of you survivors out there, and I appreciate the effort you have made to come see us live. It really brings a tear to my eye. But on to pressing news. Zombies have begun to charge the defense barrier. It is believed that they may make an attempt to take over the barrier. Hopefully, we can hold them off, but if not, it might be a sayonara from here in the studio. There have also been a decrease in the crime rates by around 50% because of the zombie attacks near the barrier, so most of the looters are dead. But it is believed that they have become zombified, so now the zombies know how to steal. I know, not very nice, but you know what is? A message from this week's sponsors.
You're probably wondering, why bother with therapy when I'm just trying to keep my limbs attached? Well, at Dreaded Help, we believe your well-being matters, even if civilization crumbles like the granola bar you found last week. Survival is one thing, but do you really want to be alive if you're dead inside? I don't think so. Is your heart racing because of the undead breaking down your door, or just because you've been suppressing your feelings? Maybe both. At Dreaded Help, we recognize there's so much to be anxious about these days, like whether or not the growling outside is just a zombie, or you're just having another panic attack. Even though your family didn't make it, you're still here. You and the relentless burden of having made it through while the others became zombie meal deals. Our therapists specialize in helping you understand your questionable moral decisions, like when you accidentally pulled your brother's pants down to buy yourself those extra 20 seconds. Don't let a herd of zombies stop you from getting the help you need. At Dreaded Help, we don't judge whether your anxiety comes from dodging the undead or the worry that your survival skills peaked with your ability to microwave popcorn. We're here for you, so book an appointment with us today.
Now, you may be thinking, besides foraging or looting items, what else can I do to source sustenance, Sabrina? Well, fear not, our presenters in the field will show you an alternative and reliable way to get nutritious food. Please give a round of applause for Tyson and Jack's cousin, Elijah.
Are you tired of looting the empty, abandoned grocery stores looking for food? Are you frustrated with having to scavenge in the wilderness while risking a zombie run? Well, Elijah and I have the solution for you that guarantees you get all the nutrients you need.
Absolutely, Tyson. Today on Wasteland Bloom, we're going to be showing you how to garden and grow your own food.
Yes. Now, the benefits, dear viewers, to growing your own food is that it's a reliable source, whilst also creating healthier eating habits and saying bye-bye to canned food like this. As Handmaid and Hamish will tell you, gardening and the arts are therapeutic activities. Tending to plants can help you feel less stress and anxiety.
which in a post-apocalyptic world is important because negative feelings can be the norm. To garden, you'll need seeds or seedlings, soil, water, and sunlight.
And if you have access to them, we suggest using gardening tools, such as shovels, rakes, gloves, and containers. Also, plant labels are a great way to identify what plants you have and track their growth.
Here we have some containers we found in an abandoned building yesterday, and we also have some seedlings we dug up from an established plant the other day.
The best plants to select for gardening are natives. This is because they're already suited to the local conditions and need little maintenance.
Depending on where you live, you'll need to seek out frost or drought-resistant plants. For example, macadamia nuts, which are native to parts of New South Wales and Queensland, are extremely drought-resistant.
What's another native plant you'd recommend our viewers to grow, Elijah?
Even though it requires a little bit more care and attention, I'd say lemon myrtle. Commonly found in areas of New South Wales and Queensland, it has medicinal properties. It can help with indigestion and it boosts your immune system.
That's awesome, Elijah. While we're on the topic of potting, one tip that I think is worth mentioning is the right depth to plant your seedlings at. See, if you plant it too deep, it might not get enough sunlight and, well, it won't sprout. Whereas if you plant it too shallow, it might get too much sunlight, not enough moisture, and dry out.
Exactly, Tyson. As you can see, I've placed the seedling right in the center of the container.
If you accidentally add too much soil, keep calm and carry it on.
As you can see, Tyson is a self-proclaimed pun king.
Hell yeah, I'm one in a melon. Besides, zombies make terrible comedians. The humor's always deadpan.
Anyway, I'm going to be adding or removing soil to get the right height. Next, I'm going to pat it down gently, but not too tight, because I don't want the soil to get packed. And voila! Next, we need a bit of hydration.
And then you put it under the appropriate amount of light, correct? Not any harsh, direct sunlight?
Absolutely. Doing that, you'd stress the plant out even more than it already is by being transferred to a new container.
For a final touch, you can add Doomsday Dirt's zombie repellent. The odor emitted from the solution is abrasive to zombies, but it's not foolproof, though it will stop them from going near your plants and you. Well, that's it, folks. Hopefully these gardening tips will help you get started on your food growing journey. Just remember to bay leaf in yourself.
And through gardening, we hope that, as our host Sabrina would say, you find the joys and secrets of not only surviving, but thriving in the apocalypse.
Thanks for watching. We'll see you next time. Back to you, Sabrina.
Thank you so much, Elijah and Tyson. Now, here with us today, we have Sachi, a psychology student who is interning at Dreaded Help. Welcome, Sachi.
Thanks for having me, Sabrina.
So good to have you here today. Now, could you tell us about your background and what led you to become a psychology student pre-apocalypse?
Well, as a psychology intern, right, I am passionate about a career in social and mental health. You know, I've always been fascinated about the way people think and behave the way they do. And when it comes to the human mind, there's nothing more complex or operational in the body. I mean, why do you think zombies are so attracted to human minds? It's like when you open a pack of Good Grub's party favorites for them. Of course, like the brainstem is like the cherry ripe of the bunch. No one wants that.
Amazing! Well, do you think societal attitudes towards mental health have changed over the years, particularly post-apocalypse?
Well, in Maslow's hierarchy of needs, including sociological, safety, belonging, self-esteem, and self-actualization, the lower level basic needs like food, water, safety, need to be met before higher needs can be fulfilled. And in a more post-apocalyptic world with scarce basic resources, mental health is 65% neglected. But what I find really interesting is that we haven't shunned the importance of belonging. You know, when we are uncertain about our situation or world, we look to others as sources of information and comfort. And that is why you see less and less people on their own, as I like to say, and you can trademark this, those who are isolated are annihilated.
I'll steal that catchphrase. Well, Sachi, what can you do to maintain a positive mental health and build resilience in their daily lives?
Well, we all have different ways to cope. Whatever you're feeling is valid. But what we don't want is blind positivity. That would be irrational and frankly weird because people are literally dying. So to maintain that adaptive behavior and fulfillment, I would suggest goals, setting goals, challenging your thoughts, relaxation and mindfulness techniques, and social skills trainings. And if you feel there's no prevention, consider seeking professional help.
That's right. That's what dreaded help might be for. Well, those are some fantastic points. So do you have any advice for friends and family members supporting someone in crisis?
Well, as I have said, connection is crucial at a time like this. So if someone close is in crisis, we have to treat them with unconditional positive regard. Generally listen to their needs and concerns. And then, from there, you can work out strategies to overcome the issue. Sorry, speaking from personal experience. My aunt was recently bitten, and that was really hard for my dad. Sorry, not my mom though, she hated her guts. Anyway, after talking to him, I had him join a support group for families for infected persons. And, that was really effective in seeking help and forming connections with people who have similar experiences. Yeah.
Well, that's just absolutely so sentimental. Well, Sachi, what challenges do you face as a psychology intern at one of the few operational counseling and therapy services, Dreaded Help? And how do you overcome them?
Well, Sabrina, we at Dreaded Help do our very best to give survivors the affordable counseling they need, whether that's over the phone or in person. However, since our patients are in a very vulnerable position, their brains are more attractive to zombies, especially those who have had exposure to strong trauma, which is pretty common these days, resulting in them getting eaten. So how we overcame this issue is how we have this new security system that detects zombie DNA and terminates them on site.
Wow.
So yeah, it's kind of like a booby trap.
Wow.
So you can ensure your brain is secure in more ways than one.
Wow. Thank you so much for your time today, Sachi. Those were some insane insights. Building on Sachi's point that coping with the trials and tribulations our Wasteland reality is different for everyone. Please welcome our renowned in-house Renaissance artist, Handmaiden Hamish.
Tut Limon! I'm Hamish, and welcome to the End Times Artistry. Have you been feeling distressed and overwhelmed since Doomsday? Also, have you been distressed about the culture and fashion society as a whole? Have no fear. Handmaiden Hamish is here to help. Today, we'll be going through the mindfulness of art, and I'll be showing you how to create a beautiful piece through the apocalypse. So, you may be wondering, how is this possible, Hamish? Well, Mon Petit Palion was still able to gather resources even during the apocalypse. And one of those resources to make paint is flowers. Nature offers a vibrant and also a limitless color palette. Just as our fearsome Tyson and Jack forage for food, you can also forage for wildflowers. You have your petals from your flowers, and the next step is to grind it up using a pestle and mortar. So, if you don't have a pestle or mortar, you can use any other culinary tools that have the same function too. Next up, strain the dye extract using a sieve, and then, after that, you're going to use honey as a binder. And then, voila, you have your plant dye extract. C'est magnifique! Here's some we just made, completely al natural. Totally not looted from a store. Alright, mes amis, let's get painting. So, now that you have your canvas ready, we're going to be showing you the colors that I'm using today. So, first off, we have the desert yellow, we have the deep sea blue, poo brown, yellow, the grass green, and white. So, with the first off, we're going to be using the deep sea blue for our mountains. So, in the foreground, give it slight little brush strokes, just very lightly. trying to fill in this mountain here, almost as if you are creating it yourself. So you are God in this painting. You have any creativity that you would like. So we're putting this mountain right here, I've decided. Okay, so now that we have this mountain done, we're going to get the background. Oh, I lied to you. We're going to be doing the trees. So we'll start with Pooh Brown. One streak here, and one streak here. Lovely. All right, and then next, as a backup tool, we're going to be using a sponge to get the leaves of the trees. So just dap on the grass green, and then just dap onto the painting, very lightly. Almost as if you're making the tree yourself. So, yep, that's one tree done. And then one more over here. And voila, there you go. You have your trees ready and set up for the scenery. And what I think I might do here is add a little waterfall going between the two mountains. So I think I might just put this waterfall right here. And I'm gonna just give it some swirls, almost like it's a worm. And then, so I've got the body of the river, and I'm just gonna go on the outskirts, slowly make it lighter and lighter. So then it looks more fleshed out and realistic. So keep on dapping, maybe add a bit more dark sea blue, a bit more white, mix it up. Now see, it's looking a lot more crystally, a lot more lighter. You can go over these white bits and voila. And there is your waterfall. Next up, we'll be doing the foreground, the grass area of this painting. So we're gonna have to mix a little bit of blue and a little bit of yellow, plotch it on in there. And once again, like the trees, we're gonna be dapping, sort of making bushes, if that. So we're gonna put 3 or 4 little bushes in here, like that. Put a tinge of blue in it as well, just to get that darker layer over. And we might even add a little bit of desert yellow as well, just to get that contrast. Might be spring, might be summer, who knows? The bush may be on fire as well. All right, next up, we're going to be doing the sun, obviously using yellow, desert yellow. Brush here, and we're going to do a little circle. Now, our sun is looking a little bit different because of the apocalypse and the radiation going everywhere. So we're going to add a little bit more sun, just to give that little past non-apocalyptic vibe. There you go. You have your green sun. And I'm going to ponder on this for a little bit, but I'll get back to you shortly with the full painting. And voila! Now, this is the final painting, and if yours is garbage, unlike mine, you can use it as self-defense for the zombies. Merci beaucoup, and thank you for tuning in for today's End Time Art History. See you next time.
Thank you so much for that, Hamish. That was so helpful. Now, I know that a lot of survivors out there are feeling overwhelmed with the zombies moving in on us every day. But fret not, I'll teach you guys some way to de-stress in the apocalypse, with music. Music is often overlooked as a way to maintain positive physical and mental health. Listening to calming music can lower cortisol levels, which leads to reduced levels of stress and anxiety. It can also elevate your mood, triggering the release of dopamine, which gives you the feelings of satisfaction, motivation, and happiness. Music is proven to enhance memory, attention, cognitive function, and problem-solving skills. In a world filled with uncertainty, music can be a much-needed distraction or even serve as an outlet for our emotions. Since the rise of zombies, not everyone has had the time to listen to the likes of Bowie or Queen, R.I.P. But don't worry, because Wasteland Wonders has got your back. First up, we have the xylophone. Honestly, I couldn't believe my eyes when I found one of these bad boys when I was foraging earlier. These used to be all the rage back in the day. You used to be able to find these in daycares or mother groups, and really, these instruments made some hardcore rock. Well, aside from being a head-banging force of nature, the xylophone can really calm the soul. This instrument's melodic sounds can help one to remind one of a peaceful day, free of zombies and free of distraction. Next up, I'm going to show you guys how to make homemade maracas. For all you kids out there who might not know what a maraca is because the apocalypse seized all schooling, maracas are shakers, often used in percussion. Percussion is a type of instrument that makes a beat. Percussion comes from the Latin word percussionum, which means to strike a blow. This grounds music and creates a connection between human and sound. It evolved from jazz music in the 1970s. Anyways, we are going to make some percussion today. What you'll need is 2 cups, some rice, and some duct tape. If you don't have cups, you could go and scavenge them for them in an abandoned supermarket, provided that your local one has stopped being attacked by zombies or isn't being used as a bandit stockhold. Now that you've got some, first we want to put a bit of rice into one of the cups, like so. That should be enough. Then we want to grab the second cup and place it on top like this. Voila! Now, we will grab the duct tape and wrap it around the 2 cups, secure it tightly. You can usually find tape at a survivor's bunker that the government has set up around the country, but they can be hard to find, so it may take some time. Anyways, guys, once you've taped the 2 cups together and have secured them tight, you've made maracas. Look how simple that was. Now, listen to this. What a beautiful sound. Some might even say, music to your ears. Playing the maracas reminds me of my mom. She was such an inspiration to me. She was so resilient up until those zombies got her in the nursing home. Oh my zombie, look at the time. That's all for today's episode. Thank you for tuning in to Wasteland Wonders. We'll see you next time, or never.